Good evening, all. Here I am, Dr. Darshini Priya, present with a new program. It's not a new program, it's our old program, which is very well known program, that is Bihar at Night. So, once again, good evening, all, and welcome to Sir Dr. Professor Praveen Kumar Verma. As we know that we invite our personalities with a different field and a different fields from the in this program and share their stories, not only their stories but the success stories and also their personalities and personal life and professional life. So, our special guest in our today's series is Dr. Praveen Kumar Verma. I think much to be said about him, but it would be better to say a little. So, I'm just going to explain something in a brief about him. Dr. Praveen Kumar Verma is a director, research and development, Jawaharlal Nehru Vishwavidyalaya, is a professor in molecular biology, School of Life Sciences. Before joining JNU, he served as a senior scientist and group leader in National Institute of Plant Genome Research. He did his MSc Life Science and PhD degree in Plant Molecular Biology from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Professor Verma has vast experience of nearly 30 years working in the field of plant biotechnology and genomics. His major research interests are plant microbe interactions and biotechnological interventions for the generation disease resistant plants. He has published more than 60 papers in reputed international and national journals. He has guided 14 PhD students till date. Professor Verma is also very curious, very adventurous, and since he belongs to Bihar, so today he is our chief guest, and we are going to discuss something his professional and personal life. So welcome, Professor Verma, in our program once again. So as we know that we always start our program with such a quotation which we offer to our dignitary or which we offer to our chief guests. So few lines, few quotation for you. That's a traditional way of our discussion. Before starting our discussion. So few lines I'm just going to quote for you. कहते हैं कि हाथों में लकीरों को बनाकर चले हैं हम, हाथों में लकीरों को बनाकर चले हैं हम, कंधों पे आसमां उठाकर चले हैं हम, कह दे कोई जाकर घनी रातों के तमस को, सूरज हथेलियों पर उगाकर चले हैं हम. So these lines are dedicated to you, sir. So as we know that, as I have already discussed and brief of Professor Verma, and we know that he is a deputy. He is in a HOD post in JNU and in molecular biology. So we'll discuss in that same field today, and we'll just come to know about his experiences, his work experience, and professional life. So, Dr. Verma, first question: since you have worked in the field of life science and recently you have become HOD in this field, so what was your first response? I mean, how you feel?
Yeah, this is basically it's a position where there is a research and development director. So where the entire JNU has it's a basically research based university. It's not like the mostly people do have they come mostly in the postgraduate and then do PhD. So there are so many projects, so many things, and so many affiliated institutes are also there. So my area of work in this particular office, which I have got very recently, is about to how to promote all these things, how to facilitate the JNU research, and just give some sort of directions, as well as the help in their the professional things, as well as something which we recently JNU has got, the Atal Incubation Center they have got, and all those things are also there in this particular department. And we have to look for not only for the science, for social sciences and other field also, wherever the JNU is doing research. So my area of research, I mean the work in this particular office is to facilitate basically for all those people.
So we are looking forward some big change. Since when you have taken this position as a HOD, so hopefully we are looking for the big change in that field
I
basically.
will try my best. I will try my best. Already, the previous directors, they have already given a very good, the path for this department, and definitely it's going to be challenging for me because of the COVID and other things. The projects and fundings are less. So how to bring more fundings to the JNU campus and for the research, the people should not get suffered because of that. So that is my first goal right now. and then
Yeah.
I will move forward.
That's great. That's great. So, as we have heard that Professor Verma is saying that a big change will come definitely. So, okay, but there is a big concern. We always discuss in a different forum. Like in a recent times, we have seen that interest of students in a science background or science area has been decreased. I don't know why. I mean, what do you have to say about this? Like, what's the reason? As we see that women constitute merely 40% of this total 280,000 scientists, engineers, and technologists. So, I mean, what's the reason behind decreasing of this rate? I mean, students are very reluctant to come in this field. I mean, specifically if we talk about science. So just you have to lighten up. What is the reason behind that? Why the interest of students is actually in recent era is decreasing for
Most of the
science
time,
stream?
yes, science, that it is absolutely true that it is getting, that people are getting. So what, we have to start from the plus two background. After
Mm-hmm.
plus two, everybody has, their goal, either to, बिहार से हम सब लोग हैं, और पता है कि भाई we go either to engineering or medical,
Yeah,
or
set
if
pattern.
you
Yes,
are not doing, then you go for IAS or the civil services, mostly
exactly.
we do. And जो when I joined JNU as a as a student in JNU, people used to say that ये mutated बिहारी है ना, so
Yes,
उस
yes.
so ये research में आ गए. So this type of
Mm-hmm.
things is happening, that, like, so right from the beginning, what happened, like, if
Mm.
you see that the even girls are now coming, in huge numbers, in most of the department, in our department also, the more number of girls are coming. So this is a very good things which we are going to see in the future. But definitely it's going to be, the people do have certain, pressure to go for earn the money for their livelihood and other things, that is also
But
there.
I would like to
So
intervene in between. Like, we have seen that report of United States recently. It has, one report has come and which says that women represent, a minority in the world of science at a mere 30%. And only 35% of STEM students are women. STEM is like, science, technology, engineering. So like the ratio is only 30 to 35%. So this is actually a very, very, it's not a very successful ratio. So that I'm saying, what we
yeah,
have to
yeah,
do to bring them in that
yeah,
platform.
yes, both the things, the what, with the female students, what I felt, that after doing the post graduation or PhD and all those things, that they have, the shift in their career, they get married, or so that is also one of the most important thing that we cannot ignore. But definitely, people are coming out. There are some role models nowadays coming in the science, from the women, women stream, and they are all are
Exactly.
coming. So we all have to think of, in such a way that, how to sustain in, so what
Hmm.
I can see, that if you see that, the MSc student in School of Licenses where I'm teaching, they are, outnumbered, basically,
Hmm.
compared to the boys. But after, if
Yeah.
you see in the PhD, they are coming less, and if you go after that also, it is coming less. Government do
Hmm.
have, they have gone for various type of schemes, like the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, they have gone for, the women scientist scheme. Even if you have a gap in the career, you can start, still you can start, after that. So there are some provisions are there. So but people are coming, that is there, but
But
it
research,
has to be
yeah.
expedite.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely. But recent research also shows that due to the tough entrance examination and hurdles and lower success rate is also another reason. When students are not coming, they are reluctant to come in this field. So how what to do to make the exam simple in a simplest form? I mean, to convert in a simplest form.
I mean,
Entrance
the
examinations are very tough. Success
very tough.
low
Yeah,
success rate. Yes,
yeah.
success
There
ratio
are
is very low.
two things. One is that, at the MSc level, and another,
Hmm.
or BSc level, or for higher studies for PhDs and other things. The PhDs, the number of, the fellowship that we get, from the CSIR. mainly in science I am talking about, UGC also in the science and social sciences, that has to get increased. If you compare to even China and other countries, that we do have, we were actually 20-25 years back, we were all were, at par of with China, but they have gone ahead with us. Second thing, that we have to believe in ourselves. What we I always feel that we, as a scientist, I'm a made in India scientist, or you can say make in India. So I always feel that you have to believe in yourself. But people still do have this thing, which I called already, that there is a colonial hangover. They see that,
Yeah.
think that the Western world, whatever they are doing, that is best. But it is not true. We do have certain in our country also, there are so many things which we can start from there. So that we have to start. We have to increase the number of the students as well as the postdocs, and everywhere. We don't have the postdoc culture in our country, where
Yeah, yeah, true. Very
what.
true.
And second thing, that we have to come out from this mind, that if you are going abroad, you are coming back from the abroad, you have a different status. This should be thrown away, and that we
Yeah,
can
right.
throw away by publishing good
That
publications
kind
from
of a
India.
stereo thinking, that kind of a
Yes,
stereo thinking we have to shrunk, right? So that,
yes, yes.
we can improve in that field. Anyways, but the thing is that, we have a lack of infrastructure, lack of, manpower
Yeah,
also, and lack of
if
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
have.
carry
If
on,
you
please.
compare to other countries, the even USA, many of our labs are very good, at par.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, last 10 years we have developed a very good facility in India. And right now, last 5 years, I can see, 5 or 6 years, like not only that, earlier the science was confined to few big cities. Now it is
Yeah.
actually getting spread. That we have to
Hmm.
expedite. We have to spread in throughout the India, even northeast
Hmm.
India, everywhere. If you go there, lots of possibilities are there. People are so good. Even the people who are doing research in USA or in the UK or in the many of the countries like European countries, there
Yeah.
mostly the Indian students are doing. So why can't
Hmm.
they do in India? So we have to
Yeah, sure.
make a good environment, good
Hmm.
infrastructure, and that we have to nurture them. That
We
is the
have to
most
generate the
important.
interest also.
Yes,
True, very
yes.
true,
Yeah.
very true. And we
So
have to create such kind of,
from
environment so
school
that
level,
students come
from
school
right from
level,
the school to
school level.
then only they can they can people should have this thing in their mind, that there is there are how many options that they do have. There
Yeah,
is
true.
how they can go in research. So that
Yeah.
people should have in their mind. So that is the very
Yeah,
important.
and see, as a molecular scientist, or since you are in a development and research in that certain field, so what do you think, that what is the future perspective of this course? I mean, this field. I mean, can you say something to the students who are listening you? Basically, they
I'm
want to
a
know that what is the
I'm a
future
very
perspective?
positive person. I'm a
Yeah.
very positive person, and I always feel that that whenever there is a the students are coming, and they should right now, even the if you go for the different type of things, it's just the is getting increased day by day. Everything is now becoming better. But
Yeah.
the thing is that our country is also big, so we have to think in those way. There are limited seats. There are so many ICERs, and the new universities, Central University has been opened. So we have to nurture those places also, where people can definitely go and do their research in, and make a career in
Development.
research.
Right,
So
right. In
right
fact,
now.
people have student have a lack of information also. How to, how to
Exactly.
make them empowered with the information. That's also very important part that we have to work on that, because the students who are staying in a rural area and very far flung area, they're not knowing what is this course all about. Basically, they have huge lack of information. So what to do for them?
Yeah, it's absolutely true that although this is an era of information technology, people should there we get lots of messages in WhatsApp and other things. I think the government should you have pointed out very nicely that we have to go into the grassroots. and from there,
Yeah.
you can get definitely, good enthusiastic students which can pursue their career in the field of research. So that is the, that we have to go for, that we have still not done. In the case of, if you talk about even Bihar, it's a difficulty. If I usually, whenever I visit, I find that, the whenever the people, most of the people don't know, even the students, they are doing
Yeah,
PhD, but they
that's
don't know
true.
how to do the research, the research
Exactly,
methodology
exactly.
and everything is, that they have to,
Hmm. Even
come
the basic
across.
risks they are not knowing, right?
Yes.
And
And
that's a very big hurdle, that they are not knowing even how to do it. Like even they're not getting. I'm saying that they're not getting such a good infrastructure, good teacher, good guideliner. I mean, that's there are a number of things they lacked basically. So that we have to work on that first.
yeah, definitely. That is 100% agree with this, and we have to think about all these things. It's very difficult to, that we have to go for the schools and colleges, and all these things can happen. But definitely we can generate some sort of how, I can tell you this one thing is that like even cricket right now, that we do have role models, you
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
absolutely.
We have
We,
certain models.
if
Hmm.
even though we have role models in our scientific field, we don't,
Hmm.
go for, the glorifying them, so that people can understand, okay, this person is, so many, he has done very good research, and all these things. This is actually lacking. And this I can, you
Yeah,
are from media also, so I know that, that this is, is lacking from in the part of the media also, that hardly we
yeah. The
get
communication. There is a lack of
any
communication in media.
article in the newspaper, even English or
Yeah,
Hindi
yeah.
or any
True.
local languages. Very
Yeah.
difficult to get those. So
And
those actually
there is a very less advertisement also about this. People are not communicating. Even the government and concerned authority is also not giving such kind of advertisement or something
exactly,
related matter,
exactly.
so that students come to know about this. Even in,
Yeah,
and very few universities are offering this kind of course. Lack of universities also, but they are not offering such course. Like suppose we talk about in Bihar. I mean, very few universities. I mean, I'm not sure whether Patna University is offering or not this. Uh, Perhaps you
yeah,
better know.
they do have,
They
and
do.
even Muzaffarpur and some other university, Bhagalpur University, and they do have. I know whenever I get opportunity to, help them, I always, try to extend my hand to those people. I call them in my laboratory, and if they can, see something, they can go all these things. But if you have talked about Bihar, what I found, I have
Yeah,
visited many
specifically we are
places,
talking in that.
in
Yeah,
South India, many places in the West India, that like even the Pune, even Maharashtra, even Gujarat. I have, I was everywhere. Whenever I go to those universities, there, the students, the thinking and other things that we have not, we cannot see in Bihar. That is, last, just before the COVID, some of my friends, Bihari friends, and one is in ICGB nearby, and
yeah,
a few of them are in ICER. We all are Bihari, and we thought that, maybe we can come together, and then we can, make a workshop type of things in various universities,
yeah, yeah.
where
To
people can
sensitize the
understand.
student. Yeah, yeah,
They
true.
can, in school and colleges, definitely, that is required. So
And
people
that's the
don't know,
best
but I
medium to
can tell
awake
you
the
that
people.
we can get very good minds. I mean, the
Oh,
very
that's
good
great.
mind. I know it's in Bihar. So that Biharis
No,
are
they
always
are
famous.
actually, but they are lack of support system. Basically, they don't
Exactly.
have a ample support system, and that's their lack basically. So
Yeah,
lacking,
and
and
yeah,
and the lack
yeah,
of funding is also another important part. I think that's a hurdle. Students are not knowing, they are not acknowledged about this course. They are having lack of funds, or they are not access to the present things. I mean, suppose JNU is offering this course, or other universities are also offering. They are very reluctant. This reluctancy, I don't know why this kind of a reluctancy is there in the student. Why they are not trying to opt this, such as you discussed, that there is a very bright future in this. If we talk about, like, okay, fine. Apart from all this, what do you think about the overseas opportunities for this course? Can you discuss
Yeah,
something about this?
most of the people, the many overseas, the places that people are doing, mostly the Indian and Chinese students you will find many places in the research, and definitely you can do very good well in the many of the European countries or in US also. There are so many opportunities that are there, but it's difficult to get a permanent position there, or
Yeah.
even though in USA the people who have done PhD from USA, they do have a better chance to get the getting a job in but definitely you can
In
go for
academics,
postdoc.
yeah. Yeah.
Academics. So, but they are not highly paid right now.
Yeah.
If you are doing postdocs or anything, but if you get a position, many of my classmates they got the position and they are earning a good amount of money, and they are doing so all those things. My opinion, if for the young students, I can tell you that there's one line I always say: wherever you are, give your 100%. If I am
Yeah,
in the
that's
lab, give my 100%. If I am
true.
in my home, give my 100%. So
So there is no
that actually
alternate of
helps.
hard work. Yeah, you're right.
Yes,
There is no
yes.
alternate of hard work.
So wherever you are, probably जो जो चीजें जो पहले कही जाती थी कि जहाँ चाह वहाँ रहा, थोड़ा सा
हाँ,
अब बदला है जरूर कि जहाँ राह वहाँ चाह अभी बताते हैं। तो ये राह बताने की हम लोग आप जो
कोशिश
काम कर रही है राह राह बताने का ही काम
see.
कर रही है। So this we have to see that how
Obviously,
people are
obviously,
getting.
we are looking something good, like and we are seeing looking for something good possibility also, as you have taken this position in as a HOD in JNU, and hopefully it'll enlarge it'll spread out the things and it'll reach to the students. I mean, what kind of possibility will you will spread in JNU due to your coming to this field? I mean, I would like to know that what kind of possibility a student can see when you have
See,
joined. Hmm.
the
Especially,
what.
specifically, if I talk
Yeah.
about like Bihari students and the
Mhm.
students who comes from
So
Bihar.
yeah, I mean, many the things that like whatever the the research is presently going in engineering, that should come out. Like we should have open houses. That we open we should open we JNU had already 2 or 3 open houses in the past, but because of COVID they have stopped. So my idea is that we should do more of this kind of the open houses when the students from the schools and colleges they come to the JNU and then see the research,
Yeah,
the first hand report of their own, and they can get enthusiastic about the research and then they can come. So
and we have
such
rich
type of things,
library also.
yes, and even the training and other things that we should
Yeah,
increase
and
in
I
the
think
JNU.
regular
So
workshops are also there.
yes, yes.
Regular
So
workshops are being
yes,
conducted.
workshops. Yeah, in the science school,
Seminars.
they yeah
Hmm.
they the seminar, and the COVID time has given a very good opportunity, and they have actually taught us, all of us, that
Yeah,
this online way. So I think the online way is very good. That we have to we can spread all these things. Even the person who is sitting in the village, he can listen to your talk, or they
yeah,
can get
obviously,
enthusiastic. So the
true.
such type of things that we should promote. JNU has already started e-learning platform. So
Programs, yeah.
e-learning platform where that, and this is a part of the new education policies as well, where the people and the big universities where the highly qualified faculties are there, they can go for this e-learning type of things, the various courses they can offer, you can do online. So such type of things are already started in few courses in JNU. They are going to start in more.
And those are very
Hope
beneficial for
very,
students.
very, very, very beneficial. That we have to, probably this is going to be future. So, in my
Yeah.
opinion, in
And
next,
I think this is our future. Basically, e-learning is our future. It is going to
yes,
be because
e-learning.
Corona has
Yes,
proven this.
exactly.
This
Yes,
pandemic has proven that,
yes,
without
yes,
e-learning, we are nothing. So we have to be very, very much apt with that technology. And we have to keep
yes.
pace with that also. The student have to pace with. But anyways, apart from all this, one thing, as we know that molecular medicine has plays a very important role in understanding of formations, right? Formation, actions, and regulations of various parts of cells, and which can be used to efficiently target to the new drugs, diagnose, and disease. as we know that. So what are the new things which is going to be happen and it is getting happen in the development and research? Can you discuss about something? Can you
the
focus on that? What are the new
see
development?
new development, you can just see that it's a pandemic time, it's a COVID time. So many research, many places, about the structure as well as the new drugs and new, the ways to treat all those things that is coming. That is one way. Another way is that it's my field of research where we are doing right now is basically, so you all know that our population is increasing and our land are shrinking, so because of the urbanization and other things, so we have to think about the how to increase the crop productivity. So that that is also one of the major research which is going to be in the future in the case of biotechnology and molecular biology as well.
That's great. So, so a few students are asking, basically they have, sent one question that can you please ask to sir that like how they prepare for, getting into JNU for this field basically. I mean, suppose they have completed their graduation and they want to come into that for higher studies and higher education. How when they have to apply and what kind of preparation they needed? I mean, what are the things they
Yeah.
have to keep into mind for coming
See,
before?
like if you want to come to MSc or MA or
Yeah,
any other
MSc
field
for
in
higher
JNU,
education.
higher
Hmm.
education. So in that case, the JNU actually conduct a entrance test. For biotechnology, is near about more than 40 institutes throughout India. It's a combined test. Whereas JNU has the different departments like molecular medicine, the School of Life Sciences, and the School of Biotechnology. All those, the various schools and few more have come as a center where the people are doing research, but not at the MSc. So there, nano medicines and everything has come up. So those, the people can, the student can refer to the JNU website, and where they can get the
Yeah, they have
prospectus
directly
of
linked to that JNU website, right?
and there is an entrance test, and JNU entrance test is now being conducted by what we call as the same agency which is conducting the IIT tests. So those that they do have near about 200, more than 200 or 250 centers throughout India, so they can
Yeah,
prepare
yeah.
for that. And so in my opinion, you just try to read whatever the thorough study. The usually all these research, when I was most of the time when I am in the committees where the people are setting questions, we don't repeat questions. So getting
Yeah.
the questions,
These are the basic
the
crux that we have student has to come into in the mind.
five
They
ten
have to keep.
5 10 years question, they can help you that what type of questions that is. But usually the question, if you do that, it will not benefit. So most probably, if you go for the thorough study, that will is going to benefit in the entrance test, and then after the entrance test, you can come to
They
JNU,
can sit for
and
interview, Viva,
for
followed by Viva,
and
right?
Viva in the PhDs, not for the
Okay.
MSc.
Not for
So
MA.
MSc, there is no Viva, so you can directly go come to all these schools.
Yeah. One more question has come from, far-flung, a student sitting there in far-flung area of Bihar. He has sent one question and that is, flashing on that red line. So I'm just going to ask this question. A student is asking that, is there any monetary support by the JNU campus or JNU authorities for those students who are economically backward or they are sitting in a far-flung area, they are not able to access to this campus? Is there any extended campus offering their courses are being offered in the extended campus? One question. Second, are they being helped monetary by the JNU or by JNU authorities? Is there any possibility for for monetary help for those students who are economically backward?
So what I can tell you that JNU has if you're talking about MSc and talking about PhD, if you have a CSIR, UGC, if you have cleared, you can get a very good fellowship. The amount is very good right now. Is near about 31,000 to
I think that's equal to JRF.
35,000.
It's not
JRF. Yes, a
what
JRF.
JRF.
Basically,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is
equal. And
Junior Research
beside that, if
Fellowship.
you are not staying in the hostel, you can get the 24% if you are in JNU. So you can get 24% of the your thing as a HRA, house rental allowance. But
Mm-hmm.
in the MSc, you can get, there is one fellowship which JNU offer, that, that is called MCM, that is the Merit Cum Means Scholarship. So that you can continue only when it's a amount of money where, even I used to get MCM when I was in JNU as a student. So there, you have to maintain a proper CGPA after the examination, and then you can get this
For
MCM fellowship.
this kind of
So this
achievement,
is
right?
good enough,
And
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 jail. Yeah,
and
yeah. Go ahead.
what are the things, what are the literature they have to consult for their preparation? They are also asking this same question. This question is flashing again and again. I mean, they're
Yeah,
asking what kind of literature or what kind of piece of literature they have to consult, materials, study materials for their preparation for entrance examination. I mean, is
in
there
my
an
opinion,
availability of such kind of material in the campus or outside campus from where they can avail?
see, I cannot recommend any of the book,
Yeah,
which is that guide or anything. That actually hardly helps in all these things.
yeah,
It's better to study whatever you have studied already, because always don't think that the genuine interest test, even if you are coming to biotechnology or life sciences, only the things which is the biotechnology thing that is coming. It's not. Some botany, some zoology, some environmental science, everything is coming. So those things are, it's not that, for we set questions on that standard also. But that I can suggest to one book is the NCERT 12th class. I think you all should read thoroughly the physics,
that's one
chemistry,
of that's the only weapon actually.
weapon.
Thorough
So
studies.
thorough studies of NCERT. So that I can
Yeah.
tell, but and their own book. Don't go for the high funded things. Maybe some questions will be there, but most of the questions that we usually give, where the students which are coming from the various backgrounds, different backgrounds, even the villages and other things, they can compete. And JNU has as you are also a student of JNU, so you already know that JNU has a huge number. I mean that they are outnumbered, which are coming from
Yeah.
the marginal
Different parts, marginal areas.
areas and other things.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. You're
mainly
true.
you can. So this is the beauty of JNU, basically.
Yeah, true,
Yeah,
very true.
yeah.
Actually, sir, we have heard about like recently government of India has announced about it. Like, basically education ministry has announced the students from science background they can switch to humanities, and the students from humanities they can switch to science. I mean, what are I mean, what are the future for this? I mean, how you think that students from science background they can come into the humanities? I mean, how you look into all these things, all this change? I mean,
See,
the students, those who are studying humanities right now, can they switch to molecular science or this kind of a field? They can. Is there any
right now,
chance?
yeah, I can tell you two things in that. That for doing science, it's better to have a science up to +2 level, at least.
Yeah,
That then you can,
that is very
otherwise it will
important.
be very important. That.
Mm.
And when I visit abroad and see the other universities and other places, they do have lots of flexibilities. They can take the some of the courses in if they are science student, they can take a course in the social sciences. So in the new education policies, this is actually being going to be implemented in most of the universities, where this type of flexibility is guaranteed. And JNU has already started where you can take credit courses and non-credit courses in other schools. Even though you are a school of engineering student, you can take a course in the Hindi department. You can
That's great.
definitely do. I do.
Oh,
I'm also, many of
so
my
it has
friends are,
already been started. It's
yeah,
being
already,
started there
already,
in the.
already
Oh,
there. So there are a few things, but
that's a
it
good
has to
thing.
come in a big way. Maybe after the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic things that the now new education policies come. So it is going to.
Mm-hmm.
It's already started in India. So it
Mm-hmm.
was already
That's
there.
fine,
The JNU think
and that's a very
much
good
more ahead.
news.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
So
very good
that you
news
can
for
tell. Yeah.
students who actually wanted
Yes,
to come into this
yes.
field. So, sir, we have discussed a lot about this field, molecular biology, research and development. So now, when we see like apart from all, besides all your your prestigious post, your HOD in that area, how you're a wildlife photographer also. You are
Yeah,
very keen in adventure.
yeah, yeah.
So, so students actually wants to know. Basically, they want to know that. how you generate this kind of interest in you? I mean, can you tell something like when and how
I
you
mean,
generate?
I mean, they say, the when
And we have heard that you have given so many of a lecture and symposium and
yes,
seminars on
yes,
conservations of wildlife and this.
yes, yes.
I mean, can you lighten up
I mean,
something on that?
the some sometimes I feel that मुझे जंगल में पैदा होना था और मैं बाहर
अच्छा.
आ गया. So I actually इससे some I can tell you to all the youngsters that you always should have, besides your studies and other things, you should always have a hobby. That is
Yeah.
going to help you in the your the actually build your personality, as well as that will give you inner strength as well. So that the since my childhood, I started loving the camera and other things. So I got from my father, and then I started clicking those
And that's
photographs,
interest generate
and
actually.
that interest generated. And later on, that then the शादी में और दोस्तों का फोटो खींच के थक गया था. सो बर्ड्स का फोटो और वाइल्ड लाइफ फोटो खींचना शुरू
Acha.
किया.
That's
And
that's
then
actually started from there.
yes,
It's a
and
beginning.
then I really say, if you go in any jungle, the
Hmm.
good jungle in India, there's a vibe. There's a jungle vibe that
True,
you
very
get,
true.
and there you'll get refreshed.
Nature has immense beauty,
It's
basically.
a immense beauty. You just try to listen those things. If even though nothing is there, you can listen to the sound of the jungle. Actually,
Right.
that rejuvenates me. And
Yeah.
whenever I
And
see,
we can say,
whenever
and we can say you're living in a world, right? Heaven.
yes,
JNU
yes.
campus is like a heaven. Lots
Yes,
of
yes,
greenery.
and in the I can tell you, I can share with you as well, as that I have the during the first lockdown period, it was very terrible to all of us.
Yeah, it was
So
very tough also for people.
for us, and the second time probably we already have in our mind.
Yeah, we have
So
made up our mind during second.
I used to
Hmm.
go to my backyard balcony,
Oh.
set up my camera, and
Hmm.
I have clicked near about near about 67 species in those lockdown
Oh,
period, and
67. It's a huge number.
different species, and
Oh,
that
that's
that
great.
you can get in my backyard. So this is the way that you can enjoy the
Yeah,
morning
you're
time.
right.
You can
Actually, nature
uh,
teach you a lot of things. I think.
yes, yes,
I think
yes,
nature is basically a biggest guru. So in
yeah,
your case, I think I can say like nature is also your guru. Basically, he teaches a
yes,
lot of things. Nature
exactly,
teaches so
exactly,
many things. So
exactly.
many student also wants to know how to be like Professor Verma. That's a very important question, which
Yes.
has thrown up for you. How to be like
Yes.
Professor Verma. So just tell something.
This I can tell you that nobody is unique or
No, but
in
like
this world.
but you are a role model for the number of students. Basically, many students now they are they have come to know about you, and now they
Yeah,
are asking basically
yeah.
how to be like him.
It's really that is my opportunity to talk to you people and with you, that I can tell to all those students. The first thing that I have already told, that wherever you are, whatever you do, give your 100%. That should be the most important thing that in your life.
That's key point. Key part.
Sapne dekhna, dreaming is very very important. Sometimes that when I used to dream in when I was in Bihar, and that I will go for certain things, and even some of my teachers, they have helped me that time. One of my teachers is no more now. So I mean the that time everybody used to tell that क्यों नहीं बैंक का एग्जाम दे रहा है, क्यों नहीं तुम फलाना कर रहा है. So I
Yeah, that's
think
very set criteria they have.
so all those things, like you have to have a certain thing in your mind. You live every day with those dreams.
True.
Probably that is very important. मुझे ये लगता है. Second thing I can tell you that, like to all of you, don't take it in a literal way, but this is very very true that हर किसी में एक पागलपन होना बहुत जरूरी है.
Yes,
और ये
madness is
पागलपन
very
आपको उस
important.
लेवल तक पहुंचाता है.
ट्रू ट्रू जब तक जुनून नहीं है तब तक आप
जुनून
पहुंच नहीं
नहीं है, जब
सकते.
वो एक जुनून और पागलपन जो है आपको उस हद तक पहुंचाता है. आपको बहुत
राइट.
सारे हर्डल्स आएंगे. मेरे लाइफ में भी बहुत सारे हर्डल्स आए. बहुत सारे हर्डल्स आके इस लेवल तक पहुंचने में बहुत सारे स्टेप्स मैंने बाद
बिल्कुल
में
कठिनाइयां आई, हर्डल्स आए,
वेरी
डिफिकल्टीज
वेरी
आई.
यस यस But
But
you
have
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 to,
Professor, yeah,
yeah,
carry on, please.
tell me. Yeah, please. But you have to,
So
go
have
for, hmm, yeah,
no,
please.
please.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So have you ever think as a Verma, as a Professor Verma, have you ever dreamt of, like, in your childhood, during your childhood, like one day you become this, kind of a Shahenzah of this, department, or kind of a very laureate person in HOD, as a form of HOD in that molecular department. So have you ever dreamt of, or your dream was something else, and now accidentally you came into this? Was it like
No,
that?
it's not accidentally. That I do
It
have
was planned. It
this.
was
This
pre-planned.
was not planned, but that I tried. Like when I was doing my BSc, I got interested in all these things. And one of my teacher, he was a professor there, and he was doing PhD there. In
Yeah.
the college itself. So after the college, I used to, he was having a very small lab of plant pathology. So I used to go to his lab and fungus lab, and I used to work for him. So he was working on some. I still remember some bamboo plant, some of the fungus of the bamboo and other things. So I used to make slides for him. So that time. So probably that has given me some sort of things. But definitely the financial requirement of
Crisis.
the family is
Hmm.
also one of the most important things. So then I probably that I dreamed, and then I started dreaming for
And
all
you
the things.
fulfilled.
I fulfilled. My mother used to tell, I still remember that मैं कहता था मैं बहुत पढ़ना चाहता हूँ. वो कहते थे कब तक तुम पढ़ना चाहते हो. So this is
Yeah,
something
obviously,
like, हाँ, so
because they
ये
wanted
सारी
to.
जिंदगी तुम पढ़ोगे. So this type of things that she used to talk to me. So this I still,
Yeah, that was actually a journey, and the
yeah.
student who are listening you, they can learn a lot about from all this, your success stories and your struggle, your hurdles. I mean, these are the lessons for the students. They can learn a lot from that. So what is your favorite time pass? I mean, these days you're free as a pandemic.
I usually, I can tell you that whenever I go, for any wildlife sanctuary or any, wildlife park or any nature places, I usually, click near about 4,000 to 5,000 photographs. So
Oh,
my
that's great.
pastime is, the sorting out those photographs. There are those things, that
That's
usually
great work.
so this type of things that usually I do. So and sometimes I try to learn from something like traveling and other things also. So sometimes I in this lockdown period I watch travel shows and other things. So such
That's your
type of
favorite.
things I do.
So many of
So
things,
that is
like
my favorite.
you have.
Uh, but that is the photography and how to improve. इसमें ऐसा करता है तो this photograph could have been better. So those things I usually, my pastime is, on the laptop, looking
So
at those
recently,
pictures that
when recently you have visited Bihar, your
just
motherland.
motherland 2-3 years back. So the 3 years
Okay,
back.
it's a 3 years
So
back.
3 years back. So that I visited, and so
So
there
can we expect something good for your motherland? Like, students are also
you see,
asking. They have a lot of
I can,
aspirations from Professor Verma, that
yeah.
what they can do, or what he can do for the students who are residing in Bihar. And since you have attained such a big post, or dignity, so what they can expect from you, students, specifically students
I
of
have
Bihar.
already told you that we have made a small group
Yeah.
of scientists working in
Hmm.
various institute, big institutes. I'm telling you that international institute, and we are going to, maybe after we are going to visit to the various colleges and schools in the Bihar, and there we just want to some sort of that we are giving a sort of the what they can do other than what they have learned from their seniors and other things. So this is also one of the way that you can pursue your career, that I am going to do in near future. That is my dream. Second is my dream is that to work on certain, since I work on plant and plant diseases basically.
Hmm.
So I want to work on some diseases which actually affecting the various crops of Bihar. So there,
Yeah.
if I can, with molecular help, if I can do some certain things to them, so is it will be better. Second thing,
Yeah.
that I have told you that they even though the research students are there, they don't know how to do research, how to pursue the research, what are the different the steps that you follow in the research.
Yeah,
So
procedures.
those things that we are going to have certain the workshop that we are going to have in various universities, where at least that from somewhere we can we do have now a group of near about 20-25 people. We are going to add some more people. We will go to our areas, and then we will be trying to do in 2 or 3 groups, and we will try to deliver such type of lectures there, how to pursue research in those things. Like most of that people they what in India, forget about Bihar, we lack novelty, that we
Yeah,
call
true.
as sometimes we call it as a tomato potato research, tomato potato research, just for that suppose one thing people have done in tomato, I am going
Hmm.
to do in potato. It's not that.
Exactly.
So you have to go for novelty. Then only you can get a new novel ideas and novel things
Ideas,
which
right?
can serve the society. So that you have to think about something big, not that you are thinking about the whatever ये 2 काम कर लूंगा तो मेरी PhD हो जाएगी. This should not be.
Yeah, they have to focus on one thing, right?
Yes,
Concentrate. They have to work hard and concentrate
yes,
on one thing.
yes,
That's very good.
exactly,
And I
exactly.
hope, and we all hope that under your guidance, definitely the students will do better and perfect. Not only better, they'll do excellent actually. So now we are actually reaching to our closing program of end to the program. So what's your final, not lead, not last not least, but what's the final closing comment for the youths of Bihar? Not only Bihar, I mean national youths. Any comment, any message that's in our mother tongue, you have to spread.
So
You have to give.
the first thing that
क्या
I
संदेश देना
see,
चाहते हैं?
मैं आपके बहुत सारे लेख हिंदी इंग्लिश सब में देखता रहता हूँ वेरियस न्यूज़पेपर्स में. मुझे लगता है कि कुछ दिन के बाद आप कुछ साइंस पर भी लेख लिखेंगी,
लिखना
साइंस एजुकेशन के बारे में लिखेंगी, और साइंस एजुकेशन में क्या क्या
जरूर
पॉसिबिलिटीज है. तो वो सबसे
जरूर.
पहला जो है मीडिया को सेंसिटाइज करना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि बहुत
Yes.
सारे जगह पर जो मीडिया इस तरह की चीजें पहुंचती हैं, उन सब में हम लोग ये कर सकते हैं. बहुत सारे इस तरह के प्रोग्राम्स जो होते हैं वो इस तरह से होते हैं. जैसे अभी आपको रिसेंट टाइम में व्हाट्सएप पे एक मैसेज चला कि वो कोविड का वैक्सीन लेने के बाद लोग मर जाते हैं.
मर जाते हैं, right?
ये गलत मैसेज जो है वो इतनी
It's a
तेजी से
भ्रांति.
स्प्रेड किया जो भ्रम फैला. वी शुड व्हाई कांट
We'll
दिस टाइप
stop this
ऑफ
kind of
भ्रम जो
thing.
है. हाँ, ये
Mm-hmm.
इस तरह का जो है ये अच्छी चीज जो है साइंस और साइंस एजुकेशन और रिसर्च के बारे में इस व्हाई कांट वी स्प्रेड जस्ट लाइक दैट. This
Yeah,
is a
exactly.
power of the social media. We can
And you're
definitely
right, you're right.
yeah,
Absolutely, we'll do same. We'll
yeah.
try to, bring
And
such kind of issues in our articles. Yeah, and
third,
please, Kevin.
for the all student, that first, always used to tell to my student also that you dream, then dream के साथ थोड़ा पागलपन है ना, and then वो
जरूर.
पागलपन और जुनून है ना, वो सब चीजें आपको आगे लेके जाती है, और आपको किसी न किसी तरह के करके आपको रास्ता मिल जाता है. You have to work hard, and wherever if you get an opportunity anywhere, you try to give your 100% so that you can definitely
Achieve the target.
achieve the target. So that should
You're
be
right,
the
you're right. That's a final verdict. Basically, that's a final message for the students who are given by Dr. Professor Verma. And I'm sure students should not give up, because giving up is the kind of a failure. So they should not, they won't give up, because
yes,
the ultimate success is that when when you work hard, when you struggle hard, definitely one day you'll reach on that point, on the success point.
definitely.
So, all right, today we have discussed a lot. We discussed your professional life, your career, your education, your lot many things you're doing, and we are proud Biharis that one of one person, you since you're from Bihar, and you are doing lot many things, and nation is proud on you, because you're in
मैं
JNU and doing lot many things in
एक छोटे शहर छपरा का रहने वाला हूँ,
रहने वाले.
और हाँ, और मैं एक सरकारी स्कूल में पढ़ा हूँ शुरू में. तो ये
Oh,
भी सब
that's
लोगों
great.
को, जिला स्कूल छपरा का
जानना
मैं
चाहिए.
पढ़ाता हूँ. तो ये सब लोगों को जानना चाहिए कि आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत हाई एजुकेशन करके ही आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, और
Yes, yes.
जो आप कहीं से भी आप आगे बढ़ सकते हैं.
दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात कही सर ने कि शिक्षा का लेवल चाहे जो भी हो, आपकी मेहनत आपको वहां तक पहुंचा सकती है। तो परिश्रम करें और कड़ी मेहनत से कभी नहीं हारे और संघर्ष को अपने जीवन का हथियार बनाएं। दैट इज द की मैसेज ही इज सेइंग। Today in our discussion, we have learned a lot about this molecular biology as a manifestation of classical biology, basically we can say. And he has enlightened us lot many things कि हम उसमें कैसे जा सकते हैं, किस तरह के career options हैं, and how the students can avail the opportunities. तो आज प्रोफेसर वर्मा ने बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन दी हैं अपने बातचीत के माध्यम से, और निश्चित ही हमारे छात्रों तक जो दूर दराज के इलाके से हमसे जुड़ रहे हैं उन तक ये बात पहुंची होगी, और निश्चित ही आपकी बातचीत से उनका रास्ता साफ होगा, जो हर्डल्स हैं, कठिनाइयां हैं, वो दूर होंगी। तो बहुत शुक्रिया। जैसा कि हम हर बार करते हैं कि अपने अतिथि के लिए शुरुआती कुछ पंक्तियां और अतिथि की विदाई के वक्त भी कुछ पंक्तियां उनको देते हैं, उनके लिए डेडिकेटेड करते हैं। सो अगेन आई एम डेडिकेटिंग वन फ्यू लाइन्स फॉर यू, रेस्पेक्टेड सर। कहते हैं कि ना थके हैं कभी पैर, ना कभी हिम्मत हारी है, न थके हैं कभी पैर, न कभी हिम्मत हारी है, जज्बा है परिवर्तन का जिंदगी में, इसलिए सफर जारी है। तो बहुत 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 थैंक यू, thanks a lot sir, you had given precious time to our program, and not only us, through our program number of students actually learned about so many things about the career opportunities and future of this molecular biology. आपने बहुत ही कीमती समय निकालकर हमें वक्त दिया, बच्चों को वक्त दिया। बहुत बहुत आभार। हमारे आप इस कार्यक्रम से जुड़े, निश्चित हम आगे भी जुड़ेंगे और इस तरह के प्रोग्राम लेकर आएंगे। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू सर। नमस्कार।